things become too liberal, we start to have a lot of issues, and that there's people who are left up to their own devices. And look at all the stupid things that have happened over the last few years. All these people who are making these decisions based on, how they feel about, the teachers or the police or whatever. Doesn't make any sense, right? And that there's too much of that going on. And so a little bit more control, I think, would be a good thing.
Can you imagine being like in your late 50s right now, working for a company that you see is not doing so well at the moment, and you could just see the writing on the wall, and your mortgage is up for renewal soon,
and you're 60,
and you're like, late 50s, early 60s, and you're like, you're next, man. You're next. So what are you doing? And we haven't seen it yet.
You're burning the building down on the way out.
And then you get the ORCFA guys saying, like, back everybody up and don't worry about it, and we're going to waive fees, and we're going to like change amortizations. And then you got OSFI going, no, bad idea, guys. Like, don't help them. The whole point of this is to fuck them, right? And to squeeze people to death so that they can't spend any money. So stop giving them money.
OSFI's like, how do we prevent the banks from going bankrupt? That other what was it? FCOC, FCAC. Their thing is, how do we protect people from losing their homes, right? And then the Bank of Canada is like, well, we want to control inflation, so we're going to continue to raise rates. So everyone's got all these like little agendas here.
And then everybody's like, raising rates is the problem now,
it's
right?
Just so like counterproductive, all the different moving pieces. I wanted to talk to you about other government stuff. Like we talked a little bit about the CBDCs before. Right?
TK, you conspiracy theorist.
No. This is like legitimate. This is like the Bank of Canada is obviously not suggesting this, but they're reviewing this, and obviously they would need to have the federal government's approval, something like that. But I mean, to me, it sounds like this is going to happen no matter what we all think about it.
Happening.
Yeah, like no matter what, like there's going to be a digital Canadian dollar that you're going to own, and some of the cool things that they're talking about, because to me, I think it's a good thing, but what do I know? Don't listen to me on most things other than some real estate stuff. But for the most part, I think that this would be a really beneficial thing, because you'd be able to actually like, reward people, in certain situations, right? So it's like, somebody's currency could have more use than others because they're, maybe elderly or, special needs or something like that, like you can control benefits to people, because the problem is Toronto is a major metropolitan city. But if you look at the rest of Canada, other than Vancouver, right, and maybe we'll throw Montreal in there, it's pretty mid, right? And if you go to northern parts of Canada or these other territories, or what's that province in between Saskatchewan and Ontario called again? Manitoba?
Metucket?
That place? That they need to have special circumstances to be able to help them as well, right?
They need all the help they can get there. How do they have a hockey team anyways? Okay, so
what do you think, Darryl?
What are you saying though? What's the question? CBDCs, Tika, this is all old news. This is happening. We have no choice. First of all, let's be clear. We've had digital money for a really long time, right? The only thing is we still have cash. So I think the real thing with the CBDCs is an elimination of the cash, really, or the no longer accepting of the cash. Because like if you've used any cryptocurrency, there's very little difference between that and like sending a wire or an e-transfer. I mean, maybe it's different buttons, but like it's electronic money. So
I like the point that you made. Is the main difference would be the elimination of cash. So then it would be, you no longer have an option. So you go to the bank, they'll say, we'll give you as much. Everyone can withdraw all the money they want out of the bank because the government's just controlling it digitally.
There's no such thing as withdrawing money from the bank anymore.
But putting it into, like what I'm trying to say is everybody could say that they want to have their control of their money. And the bank could say, sure, no problem.
Sure, because no bank runs. Unlimited. But not only that, you can't get paid in cash. Right? Because and then you can't evade taxes, right?
Which is also a good thing.
But also TK.
Yeah.
we've noticed that your protein intake has been extraordinarily high, and we don't think that that's fair because there's other people on this planet. So we're going to not allow you to pay for that chicken this week until you catch up.
You know,
TK,
there's some complications.
you've been a bad boy.
There's some complications, you know.
We see what you're up to, TK.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you can't go there.
Look, if the world was very responsible and that we had a society that everybody treated everyone fairly and acted accordingly, then I would agree there. I would say, man, we shouldn't be controlled and we shouldn't have, you know, these rights taken away from us and these privileges, you know, being hung over our head, you know, whether we need to deserve them or not. What I'm telling you is that the world is messed up and that we need control. And I'm a little bit more militant than others.
Control or need to be controlled?
I need to be controlled. And that there's, and I'm I know,
what
and I'm a little bit more militant. Listen, at my house, things are like strict. Like there is order at my house, and I thrive with order and structure. And you know, maybe I don't appreciate, you know, what that would look like in a more like, you know, militant run type of governing body. But
what about 10 years from now? What's it going to look like 10 years from now in that house?
There needs to be something that changes, because when things become too liberal, we start to have a lot of issues, and that there's people who are left up to their own devices. And look at all the stupid things that have happened over the last few years. All these people who are making these decisions based on, you know, how they feel about, you know, the teachers or the police or whatever. Doesn't make any sense, right? And that there's too much of that going on. And so a little bit more control, I think, would be a good thing, especially for evading taxes. As somebody who has to pay taxes, and I can't avoid a single dollar of tax other than legal tax strategies that I pay, I think other people should have that same.
Can't or won't. Like that's you can't get any cash somehow, or you won't take cash. Like there's things you can't do for cash.
No.
Really? As a realtor, you can't make any cash in the deal?
No, it's like a $50,000 fine because you're not going through your brokerage.
Oh, right. The fines. Oh, okay. So there's nobody.
I had a guy offer me cash recently, actually. He said, if you can get your seller to reduce the price by, I think it was like $1 million.
There's a bonus in it.
I'll pay you $25,000.
Sure. And you don't think people take that shit, TK?
I'm sure he's gotten it done before the way he asked me.
So it's not that you can't, it's that you won't. Very different. But soon with a CBDC,
I can't.
Well, maybe you still can.
And nobody else will either. So
in soap or something.
To me, there is a level of control that is needed in order for our country specifically to get back on track in the way. Look at the deficit that the government has right now. Look at the spending. Like,
well, but maybe we have the wrong people that are controlling us right now.
Hey guys, thanks for watching our clips channel. Why don't you go and check out some more clips? We got lots of other good content somewhere over here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Boom.
That was good.
That was good. I like that. That was good.